Hey guys, in today's video, we're gonna see who can take over the world first, Countryballs or AI. So, yeah. For Countryballs, I just spin a wheel, and then whichever Countryball gets chosen, that Countryball will do an action. So, yeah, and for AI, well, I just tell it what the Countryballs did, and then, yeah. And to decide outcomes, I'm going to be using a writing AI thing that auto-completes it. Anyways, let's get into it.
Nice! I like where this is going. I'll claim the Nile Valley as my starting point. It's fertile, has the Nile for trade and farming, and defensible deserts. My tribe will be called the Sunborn, worshippers of RA, with a culture built around farming, river trade, and early stonework. Now who are the Countryballs we're up against, and where do you want to start?
Okay, so ChatGPT is in Egypt. Time to see who will lead the Countryballs this turn. Okay, France.
As your first leader, we will start in Le France.
Okay.
In 3000 BC, a tribe known as the Sunborn emerged in the Nile Valley, worshipping Ra and developing a culture rooted in farming, river trade and early stonework. However, another tribe existed too, the Countryballs, who settled in France.
Alright, the Sunborn awakened by the Nile, while the Countryballs are doing their thing in France. On my first turn, I'll expand farms along the Nile for food security, send out scouts up and down the river to map fertile land and spot potential rivals, build a simple stone shrine to RA, boosting unity and morale among my tribe.
In 2900 BC, the Sunborn expand their farms for food security, send scouts up and down the Nile, and build a stone shrine to RA. However, then the Countryballs adopt the ideology of communism and build a jungle.
Oh man, the Countryballs are already breaking the laws of time and space communism in 2900 BC, and building jungles out of nowhere, classic Countryballs chaos. Alright, here's what the Sunborn do in response this turn. Use our scouts to establish contact with nearby tribes, Nubians, Lydians, trade grain for stone and copper, irrigation expansion dig canals for the Nile to increase farmland, train a warrior band with copper weapons to defend our territory, just in case the jungle building communists decide to expand eastward.
Okay, then I guess that means Nubia and Libya exist. Alright, no more communism. We need capitalism. Also, we're gonna need a military if we're gonna be expanding.
The Countryballs change ideologies faster than they build huts, abolish communism, adopt capitalism, and suddenly start building a military in the Bronze Age. Absolute chaos energy. Here's what the Sunborn will do in 2800 BC. 1. Fortify settlements with mud brick walls along the Nile to protect against raiders. 2. Establish trade routes via the Red Sea coast, seeking incense, gold, and exotic goods. 3. Codify oral laws into sacred tradition, strengthening social cohesion, and giving priests more authority.
In 2800 BC, the Sunborn fortified their settlements with mud brick walls along the Nile. They also established trade routes to get incense and gold. Finally, the Sunborn make oral laws. Meanwhile, the Countryballs begin expanding east, taking over Germany, Switzerland, the Benelux, Austria, and Czechia.
Looks like the Countryballs are turning into some kind of hyper-speed Bronze Age empire in Europe. If they keep gobbling up land like this, they'll become a real threat before long. Here's the Sunborn's next moves in 2750 BC. 1. Unify the Nile settlements under a single ruler, declaring the first pharaoh, chosen as the son of RA's centralized leadership, gives us stronger armies and better organized irrigation. 2. Expand south into Nubia, securing gold mines and access to trade goods. 3. Commission stone quarries to begin construction of monumental architecture. This strengthens our culture and intimidates rivals. The Sunborn are laying down the roots of an early dynasty. What kind of nonsense are the Countryballs cooking up in Central Europe now?
Finally, the first AI expansion. Colonize Spain and call it New Portugal. Okay.
Classic Countryballs move. Instead of ruling Spain, just rename it to New Portugal and call it a day. Their empire is starting to look like a very cursed EU. Here's the Sunborn's moves in 2700 BC. 1. Build pyramid construction at key sites, huge projects to demonstrate Pharaoh's divine power and rally people. 2. Send emissaries westward across the Mediterranean, making first contact with Crete. 3. Develop hieroglyphic record keeping, allowing us to track trade, laws, and taxes. The Sunborn are turning into a proper civilization now, not just a loose confederation. Meanwhile, are the Countryballs just going to keep steamrolling Europe, or do they start messing with Africa too?
Wait, over there, you might
The Sunborn begin building pyramids, sending boats across the Mediterranean to make contact with more tribes, discovering Crete. They also make hieroglyphic record keeping. In 2600 BC, the Countryballs take over Italy, Malta and Tunisia, making contact with Libya. They also invent pizza.
Oh no, if the Countryballs have already invented pizza in 2600 BC, then we're doomed. No army can resist that. Here's what the Sunborn will do in 2600 BC. 1 fortify the western desert borders with watchtowers and garrisons, since the Countryballs are uncomfortably close in Tunisia. 2 form alliances with Libyan tribes by trading grain and offering religious ties. 3 expand pyramid projects into a full city of dead, solidifying cultural identity and Pharaoh's absolute power. So the Sunborn are building up defenses, culture and diplomacy, while the Countryballs, well, they have pizza and half of Europe. The Countryballs are absolute chaos. Flip back to communism, rob Libya blind, and sail off their fleet like pirate pilots communist conquers. Poor Libya never stood a chance. Here's what the Sunborn do to respond. 1 strengthen the Navy using lessons learned from Libyan ships. Defend the Nile Delta from possible Countryballs invasion by sea. 2 launch desert raids into Libya to harass the Countryballs garrison and rescue allies during attacks. 3 deify Pharaoh's horse and cart, rally people under a divine protector to keep morale high in the face of the chaotic Countryballs threat. We're moving toward early imperial Egypt, holding strong against the oncoming tide of Countryballs nonsense.
Alright, mate, we need to invade into the south.
So it begins. The first Nile War, 2500 BC. Here's how the Sunborn respond in the Great War. 1 mobilize a power-armed warrior band and march south to confront the invaders in Nubia. 2 leverage the Nile Navy to control supply lines. 3 call on Libyan allies for desert cavalry support. And 4 construct fortified outposts at key Nile choke points. Oh no, the Countryballs exploiting distant Europe to destabilize the heart of the Sunborn Empire. Total civil war is brutal. Egypt is tearing itself apart internally, while the Countryballs poke from afar. Here's how the Sunborn respond during the civil war. 2450 BC. 1 split loyalist and rebel factions into 2 main armies, one defending the Nile Valley, the other trying to secure Upper Egypt and Nubia. 2 use the Pharaoh's cult of horse to maintain morale and prevent complete collapse, emphasizing unity against foreign meddling. 3 secure vital resources, grain stores, copper and strategic Nile crossings, to ensure at least one faction remains capable of long-term resistance. 4 underground diplomacy sends secret emissaries to rival tribes, and even some Countryballs dissatisfied with their chaotic leadership to create internal pressure on the invaders. The Sunborn might be fractured, but their civilization's backbone, the Nile, the pyramids, and divine kingship is still intact.
We nuke Greece.
Wow, the Countryballs just went full of uplifting. Nuking Crete, Bronze Age, and now the Sunborn Soviet Republic rises to Nubia. The Nile is in chaos. Rebels are spreading communist ideology, and Mediterranean just swallowed an entire island. Absolute historical nightmare fuel. Here's how the Sunborn react in 2400 BC. 1 split strategy. The loyalist Pharaoh faction doubles down on defending the Nile Valley while trying to isolate the SSR in Nubia. 2 propaganda and divine authority. The Pharaoh amplifies the horse cult, portraying the SSR as heritage and enemies already, hoping to rally loyalists and neighboring tribes. 3 naval blockades and sabotage. Use remaining ships to disrupt SSR supply lines along the Nile and Mediterranean coast, slowing the communist expansion. 4 seal alliances further afield. Send envoys to distant tribes and kingdoms untouched by Countryballs chaos to bring personal support against both the SSR and the Countryballs. The Countryballs are relentless, basically turning Europe into their own personal game board, while handing Nubia over to the SSR like a fasted. The Sunborn are now squeezed stuck between uncontrollable communist puppet in the south and a hyper-expanding Countryballs empire in the north. Here's how the Sunborn react in 2300 BC. 1 fortify the Nile heart by massive mud walls, river barriers, and watchtowers to make sure the main loyalists can't be overrun. 2 focus on internal beauty organized religious vessels, distribute food, and celebrate Pharaoh's ability to keep morale high in external and internal pressure. 3 develop innovative framing and irrigation techniques to maximize grain and crop production to sustain population during long isolation. 4 train elite shock troops small, highly skilled units capable of striking the SSR where Countryballs forces if opportunities rise.
Unfortunately, the Countryballs lose a turn because they got shocked by the shock troops.
Oh yes, the Sunborn shock troops strike fear into Countryballs. Losing contact with the SSR is a huge strategic win. Suddenly Nubia is isolated and vulnerable. Here's what the Sunborn do in 2200 BC to capitalize. 1 launch targeted strikes into Nubia, using the shock troops to weaken the SSR and reclaim key forts along the Nile Sunborn. 2 reinforce the Nile Delta with additional watchtowers and river barricades to prevent any surprise Countryball naval moves. 3 propaganda campaign spread stories of shock troops victories, boosting morale and potentially inspiring Union rebels to rise against the SSR. 4 prepare for counteroffensive stockpile weapons and train more legions for a potential push southward once the SSR shows weakness. Classic Countryballs, who needs historical plausibility when you can just make Greece come back and conquer it with the Netherlands? Absolute chaos energy. Here's how the Sunborn respond in 2100 BC. 1 consolidate newly fortified, newly reclaimed territories and install loyal governors to prevent SSR resurgence. 2 boost morale, celebrate victories publicly along the Nile, emphasizing the Pharaoh's divine mandate and the shock troops' heroics. 3 send envoys to Crete survivors if any escape the Sunken Island. Recruit them as naval experts to counter the Countryballs' Mediterranean antics. 4 prepare river-strike forces, build fast boats and amphibious units to harass Countryballs positions in Tunisia or Libya if they push south again. The Countryballs are peak chaos ideologies, move entire nations, and suddenly form a League of Nations in 2000 BC. Meanwhile, the Sunborn, just unified all of Nubian morale, is soaring, and Pharaoh is probably basking in divine glory. Here's what the Sunborn do in 2000 BC. 1 strengthen the Nile heartland fortified cities, secure borders and stockpile resources, anticipating future League of Nations meddling. 2 expand the Pharaoh's influence, send emissaries south and east to nearby tribes, offering protection in exchange for loyalty and tribute. 3 advance technology and culture, develop better irrigation, cover tools, and early forms of writing for administration and record keeping. 4 prepare for diplomacy or war training units along southern and western frontiers, ready to counter any League of Nations moves.
The expand east and make all enemy troops drink vodka. However, they have never done so before, so they obey.
Oh no, absolute tragedy for the Sunborn. The Countryballs are now playing ultimate psychological and alcohol warfare, weaponizing vodka against soldiers who have literally never touched it before. That's brutal and hilariously evil. Here's what the Sunborn do. 1. Recall and retrain civilians. 2. Increase fortifications along the Nile. 3. Use priests and pharaoh propaganda. 4. Explore alternative warfare tactics. The Countryballs are on permanent chaos mode for the ideologies, come to the Baltics, and suddenly declare themselves an empire. Classic. Meanwhile, the Sunborn are digging in for survival and becoming a true people's army of naive civilians. Here's what the Sunborn will do in 1800 BC. 1. Organize a civilian army into structured units under experienced troop veterans to defend key naive cities. 2. Strengthen diplomacy with southern and eastern tribes use Libya and Nubia as buffer zones against potential northern invasions. 3. Develop early siege and river warfare tactics. 4. Enhance infrastructure.
So I guess that implies the existence of an eastern tribe and a southern tribe.
It is good to be back. Since this war has been going on for almost 1,000 years, we allow women in the army, and we also use baguette as weapons.
Oh no, the Countryballs empire is now weaponizing culinary propaganda against spears and women soldiers. The morale hit the Sunborn must be brutal, especially for an army trained with combat weapons and discipline. Here's how the Sunborn respond in 1700 BC. 1. Reach out to southern and eastern tribes begin forming alliances and trade networks, hoping to bring mercenaries or technological aid to counter the Countryballs empire's army expansion. 2. Introduce morale-boosting rituals, public ceremonies, celebrating the pharaoh and the divine protection RA, as well as showcasing shock troop heroics. 3. Adapt tactics, train small elite units in guerrilla-style ambushes and river attacks to exploit weaknesses in a now crowded and potentially overconfident Countryballs army. 4. Fortify Nile heartland, further build secondary walls, hidden river traps, and fortified remedies to withstand prolonged pressure.
In 1500 BC, the Sunborn did the exact same thing as last time, not accomplishing anything. We invade the Nile Delta and make sure to invade during winter. Okay, final round. Here's what happened.
In 1400 BC, the Sunborn used shock troops again to shock the Countryballs empire. It works. This also makes the eastern tribe and the southern tribe join the war on the Sunborn side. Yugoslavia is re-elected again in the Countryballs empire. The Countryballs respond by using Yugoslavia to destroy the southern tribe and the eastern tribe, and they also make the SSR take over the rest of the Sunborn, ending the war.
The end. Like and subscribe.